You're listening to the Last Man In podcast. Covering Winnipeg hockey and the NHL.
Scheifele dances his way in. Scheifele scores! Mike Wheeler finds the far corner. And the Winnipeg Jets win it in overtime.
Woo, woo, woo.
And welcome back, Last Man In, episode 159.
That's correct. All copyrights belong to CFOS and WWE Network. Do not sue me, please.
We're not going to get sued.
It's dude, WWE.
That was me on a violin.
Wait, say it again.
That was me on a violin.
Me being Greg. It was all Greg. WWE Vince. You heard him. Go after him. Not me. Wait, what if the payment was like Triple H? No, who's got the worst finisher? Like most brutal finish. Pop a barrel bomb on the side apron, Kevin Owens. That's the payment.
That's a tough payment. I don't want to pay that.
No?
That would hurt. I don't know how
It's
to
got to be
take...
the most painful one to do.
I don't know how to take pain. I don't take it well.
Well, wrestlers obviously, you know what
I get
they're
shot in the back with a fucking paintball, and I, get...
Paintballs hurt.
Almost
I'm
start
with you on that
crying.
one.
You know which one looked like it hurt? If you watched the NXT show on Saturday,
We all did, of course.
Bobby Roode got the tilt-a-whirl backbreaker on the side of the ring.
What was that?
That
I
looked
was
like it
talking
hurt.
about. I was going to
That
ask you
looked like
about
it
that. And then Aleister Black in his match, he did some inverted power bomb right on Hideo's head.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
that
what
was-
was that? So yeah,
There
we
was
talk
some
hockey.
stuff.
Just kidding. We're talking wrestling right now. We're
Well, it was
rebranding.
SummerSlam.
Actually, Last Man In can also work as a wrestling term, so it's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, this is a shoot podcast now.
Yeah.
Fun fact, we're actually going to have Meltzer on later. Just kidding. That'd be so awesome. If Dave Meltzer shows up. Hello, gentlemen.
I feel like we should get somebody from the hockey media, considering we've been doing this for 3 years.
We record
some
off an
point.
iPhone. I mean, I don't know.
It's not very high profile.
We're not very high
And they
tech
can
here.
see what the basement that we're in. Not that it's not clean or anything like
Or
that.
nice.
But yeah, not beautiful.
There's no ceiling on it, though. I can see the wires.
Yeah, well, no, but hold on. If we're dumping on everything that we do, I mean, one of us still writes his notes on paper. So, being me.
One of us still writes notes.
yeah. That's not on their phone.
So-
One of us doesn't use a computer. We've upgraded. Dan and I are in the 21st century. You're
Hey,
still in the 19th
I'll
century.
bring my computer, but I'm
Do you have to dip your pen in ink to write with it?
Actually, it's
is
my
it-
feather, and
Oh,
it's
it's
an
your
ink
feather?
and a quill.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I read that's going in my journal tonight now by candlelight. Thanks. No, I was gonna say about computers. So my
You don't-
computer, I
don't
turn
have
it
lights?
on. What's that?
How do you
Lights?
upload?
How do I upload? Well, actually, I just got my little sister to run laps on it. We have a little wheel that powers the house, and I just take the light power away and plug it into the internet.
So when you're uploading the video, your house does not function.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. She's got a clock
Okay.
about a 10K run, but that's okay.
and it's about a megabyte every hour.
Yeah, that's why it takes so long for these to upload and why the quality of the picture is just horrendous.
It really is.
But my computer, before we move on, I want to say this. It's so old, it's 8 years, I think, my laptop, that I have to prop, those free wooden speakers that you put phones into? You
Yeah.
gave it to me. I have to put that underneath
It was
to
a
keep
Corona
it
one, right?
to keep it cold. And then to keep it cool, when I turn it on, it's like a jet engine. It's like, and it stays that loud forever. So if you ever hear the audio is really off, it's probably because I couldn't hear it on my own computer. Because my computer's just it's so loud.
It's the mosquito you can't shoo away from.
Yeah,
here.
it's constantly there. What are we doing today? What are we talking?
Speaking of a mosquito that Edmonton fans won't be able to shoo away for another 8 years, Leon Draisaitl signed. We'll be talking about that. Also talk about the Henrik Zetterberg news that happened earlier this week. Yesterday, actually. And then we'll be doing our Metro Division prediction. And that'll finish up the 4 divisions.
Okay, now, are we going to start with Draisaitl?
Yeah, we're starting with Draisaitl.
Okay, good, because I
Zetterberg
haven't
being
heard the Zetterberg news. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear what it
Okay.
is.
Oh, you'll be happy.
You'll be happy.
Oh, I think I know what it is then.
Yeah,
Okay.
did you know he got traded?
Don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the Flyers.
I'm not
Shut
joking.
up.
I'm not joking. For Wayne Simmons. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Greg was showing me his laptop. That's why I went quiet. I was like, oh no. Holmgren got a hold of that phone for like a minute, and he put the franchise back another 3 years. I knew it.
No, it's nothing like that. But Leon Draisaitl signs his 8-year, $8.5 million deal. $1.5 million less per season than that $10 million mark a lot of people were speculating earlier.
Worth it?
No.
Not worth it.
Not yet.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think if I was Draisaitl, I
Could
would have taken a 2-year, $5 mil contract, and I would have made more money in the end.
It could look, excuse me, it could look bad for 2 years, and it could look fantastic after that.
Okay.
It could
Mark
look
Scheifele
great
deal.
right away. I don't know.
The prove me contract, Mr. Scheifele, as Greg.
I mean, if
Well, it's not like
Draisaitl does what he does last year for the next 8 years, then it's a great contract.
I can't see
It
If
gives you
why-
value.
if he's is a little slow for the next year or two, stumbles a bit, and then gets going, it's still a good contract.
You know what this contract is? It's you have to be the best player on your team. Now, he's not going to be better than Connor McDavid. But let's say Connor McDavid goes down. He then has to be the best player on his team. Because you look at the other guys who are making $8.5 million. They are all the best players on their teams. So, for instance, a comparable contract-wise is Steven Stamkos. When Steven Stamkos is healthy, I think he's in everyone's top 10 players in the league. Does Leon Draisaitl fit in that top 10? Not yet, but he could. But when he's healthy, to, I think, earn this contract, he needs to be in that top 10 conversation. He needs to be the Malkin to McDavid, essentially the same way that Malkin is to Crosby. He needs to be that good, that great number 2 center that not every team has the option of having. And if he can do that, I think that this contract won't be that bad. Still don't like the money. I still think that they could have waited a couple years because this hinders their ability in the next couple seasons to really build and go out and be buyers at the trade deadline. Because if they want to have a window, and I'm not saying their window is going to be closed in 8 years, it's just you had a little window here if you could have signed Draisaitl for like a 3-year contract, that you would have had those 3 years of flexibility to have Connor McDavid on a cheaper contract for this year. You would have had more flexibility with Draisaitl on a cheaper contract. You would have had some flexibility to go out and go sign guys. There's an example right now, and I don't want to talk about it yet. I want to wait till we get to that team in the Metro. But that they're talking about for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Because they have a little bit of flexibility in the cap. And I'm just saying, this doesn't really hurt Edmonton, but I think if they want to put their team over the top, it could hinder that ability to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have two centers making $21 million. Nothing wrong with that. Centers are the most important position, behind your goaltender, and you have 2 number ones, and that's not a bad issue to have. But they need to be the best 2 number ones.
There's only one other duo that I could think of off the top of my head making more or equal, and that would be equal $21 million, Taves and Kane, which, hey, they're the core for their team, so obviously these two are definitely the core of their team. But that also tells me, yes,
how much it's hurting them, though.
it's going to hurt. Yeah, well, actually didn't even think of that. I was going to say, my next point was just going to be those two, like Draisaitl and McDavid are making more than Crosby and Gino.
Yep.
Which is kind of...
But that's because Crosby and Gino signed
Sure,
their deals.
they're getting
a while
older
ago.
and like
No,
different
they also
generation.
signed their deal.
Yeah.
But I guess if you want to compare it to the Taves Kane thing, it didn't hurt that team initially. It hurt that team later on because you have other guys you have to fill around those guys that cost money. The Brent Seabrook deal for Chicago isn't very good, and that's one of the problems that I have with that team. And if they didn't have Brent Seabrook's contract, they'd be a different team. So
They'd have
all it
James
takes...
Van Riemsdyk.
They'd have the money
Or
to
take
be able
Trevor.
to.
Trevor Van Riemsdyk.
They'd have the money to be able to go out and actually sign some defensemen.
Exactly. And the other issue, too, is, like, does this prevent them being able to put big money out there to get a free agent or to give Darnell Nurse the right extension or what are they going to have to do, right? So it's tough for Peter Chiarelli. I think they've backed themselves into a bit of a corner with the signings, but if the cap goes up, it could be pretty good. But if you think about it right now, they're making more than 25% of the cap for them.
Not great right now.
Not right now.
And
But
as
if
we
it
mentioned,
goes
it
up to $90 million, hey, it's not that bad.
But like
It's
you
not
said,
that bad.
Taves and Kane, right? They're your cornerstone guys. So if they're if these are going to be their cornerstone players, then they have to,
Now
It's the same thing that Toronto's going to have to go through in a couple of years. The same thing that Jets are going to have to go through probably this year or next year. Is you're going to have to pay a lot of money for 2 or 3 players.
That brings me back to what we've talked about previously about Draisaitl. Is not necessarily the same player, but a player around his age, if not the same age, maybe older. Nikolai Ehlers, how much do you pay him now? If he puts up this say if he puts up 60 plus points next year, what do you pay him?
7, 6.5, 7. It'll be a tough sell.
I think he's going to ask for
7.5.
I think he'll ask for 8. I mean, he's
he's a winger.
He's going to ask high.
You got to ask high to buy low.
Like Draisaitl asked for 10. They settled at 8.5, right?
Oh, so if you ask for 8, you end at 6.5.
Well, I can see it 6.5, 7 being what they agree.
And then you're gonna have the classic fans. What? Best player Shafley. You better pay him less than him. I've never met a Jets fan who sounds like him, by the way. It sounds like the parent from the south.
From the deep south?
From the deep.
He followed the team north.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
No, he was an OG Thrashers fan.
And that's the problem you have, right?
Okay, just for reference right now, I'm just looking at left wingers in the league. If you take out everybody who's over 30, the highest paid winger right now would be Johnny Gaudreau at 6.75. Mm-hmm. I think that is the starting point if the Jets get him for that or 6.5, I think that is perfect. Because you look at this list, and other than Taylor Hall, who's only making $6 million, everybody else on it is getting paid too much money currently.
Well, you have to look
of the top 15 left wingers, contract wise in the NHL right now, their cap hits. I don't think most of them. Okay, yeah, most of the top. Is
there a Philadelphia 15, one on there?
There is not a Philadelphia one on there.
So
do you want me to read you the top 15 left wingers?
He's a right winger. I'm thinking of Voracek.
Do you want to know the top 15 left wingers?
Just name the top 5.
Alex Ovechkin, Rick Nash. Alex Ovechkin's making 9.5. Rick Nash is making 7.8. Mm-hmm. Zach Parise is making 7.53862. Daniel Sedin's making 7, and Johnny Gaudreau, number 5, is making 6.75, and Patrick Marleau's making 6.666667. Zetterberg, number 7, is making 6.083.
If you play that last clip where Greg said 6, it's actually, if you play backwards, it's I'm going to eat your soul train Maple Leaf for life.
Then Taylor Hall and Brandon Sauter and Milan Lucic are all making $6 million.
I think it depends what Ehlers does this year. I mean, I think he had 64 points last year.
Yep.
So if he goes up from that,
what if he's right on the button again?
I still say he's around that $6 million mark.
Yeah, I think 6.
I think the Jets will try and go for 6.5.
Because you have to look at comparables. Because, just looking at the top 20 list, for wingers, it's a very left wingers. It's a little bit different for right wingers, but anyways, wingers in general are making less money than centermen.
And you have to think too, the 2 cornerstone players going forward will be Scheifele and Laine. So Ehlers even falls into that group where the Jets can maybe even get him for maybe 3 or 4 years at $5-6 million, and then say, 4 years on the line,
odd man out, trade him.
No. I'm just saying.
That's what I thought you were going with. I wasn't trying to make you look bad. I'm trade him.
They don't have to sign him for 8 years. He's not a quarter.
Oh yeah.
The 2 guys that they need long term are Laine and Scheifele. They Ehlers. They want long term, but you can probably swing him for 3 or 4 years, maybe. At least they're going to try, and then maybe give him a bigger deal. He's only 20 years old.
You think so? You don't bridge, no bridge with Ehlers.
You could do 3-4 years.
What if you gave him 4 years at $6 million? That takes him to what, 25?
I think if you're doing that, you're giving him too much money. I think you're valuing him too high at $6 million. Just comparatively to the other wingers, I think if you're going to do 4 years, you're going to do 5.5.
Yeah.
Well, Johnny Gaudreau's 6.
But if you're going to do 8 years, do 8 years, I think you can raise it up to 6.
And say his point totals over the 4 years steadily creep up into the 70s, maybe even 80s.
He's still not worth over $8 million.
But at 25, he can still cash in for an 8-year contract at big money, right?
Yeah.
So it might be more advantageous for him to take a bit of a shorter deal. Whereas you know Laine's getting the max right away. Scheifele's already got the max. So,
There's only one other guy they have left to sign to a max contract. Sweetheart deal, $9.5 million per.
Brian Little.
8 years. Him and Shakes, Josh Morrissey, obviously.
Yeah, you got to give all the money to him.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, got it. Next.
I really think that this Draisaitl deal set the market for what the next round of rookies is going to be like. It's very clear to me now. I think that the Nylander and Marner deal for Toronto is going to be a lot less money than I thought it was going to be originally. Probably around the $6.5 million range. Whereas I think Matthews can now. I think the Leafs will, if they're lucky, they'll get him for 9.
Well, I think the market for Laine and Matthews is set at 10.
Yeah,
If you think McDavid's getting 12 and Draisaitl's getting 8.5.
By the way, if you include Milan Lucic in that, they now have $27 million wrapped up in 3 players.
Here's my
Milan Lucic's worth 27.
Here's my quick thought posing question to you.
Go.
What if Ehlers outscores Draisaitl this year?
He's still
Well,
not
then good for him. He's
He's
just
still
saying-
not
I'm
getting
just saying,
$8.5 million.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, but if Ehlers scores 41 points and Draisaitl scores 40, that's not really worth of him making $8.5 million.
Draisaitl getting 78 points once was enough for him to get 8.5. So
It's Chiarelli. We all know he's nuts.
I'm just saying.
He's crazy.
Okay, moving on. Henrik Zetterberg has announced that after the 2018-19 season, he will forego his contract and retire, which means his front-loaded deal could pose a problem for Detroit, because I believe there are big penalties, if cap recapture penalties if he were to retire. I don't know for sure, but that's what I believe.
What do we know?
We know that his contract is $6.833, so at least at the end of the 2018-19 season, he will be. That might be available for Detroit, but I think there's going to be cap recapture penalties, which could hurt Detroit. So Detroit, obviously.
So if a guy retires, it goes against you.
Well, if he's got a front-loaded deal, right? So if his contract, like his cap hit is still 6.8, but if his contract's only like his base salary,
It's
for those
6.08.
So, but his base salary for 2019-20 and 2021 are $1 million. There's going to be cap recapture rates for that.
So it's gonna hurt Detroit?
It's the same as the Shea Weber deal. That it's going to hurt the team that signed it.
Go no. That's a real shame.
I honestly did not realize he was only making $6 million.
Only? What do you mean? He's like 1,000 years old. He wakes
But
up
he's been
and
on that
coughs
deal
dust.
he's been on that deal for a while.
He probably
It's not
signed.
cough dust.
He woke up. He coughs dust. He has to comb it into his beard to cover it up. He's so.
He's a
old.
handsome human being.
Great. I'm great. You go do Just for Men, old man. I'm tired of Detroit.
Just for men? Just for
Down with the machine of Detroit. I'm tired
We
of
know
it.
how you feel. They've
Yeah,
already
so-
gone down. They didn't make the
1
playoffs.
year. Piss off.
They're probably not making the playoffs this
Good.
year.
I hope they do. Watch them miss 2 years and then go another 40-year run. They're gonna outlive me.
Well, they
Their
gotta win a
streak is
cup
gonna
and-
outlive me.
They have to win a cup in his last year. And that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that's 2018-2019. We all know what was supposed to happen. It's going to be Detroit, Winnipeg, Cup final. Detroit wins.
I'm not watching.
In,
I'm not watching.
in where?
That's happening.
In the deep dish arena.
No,
deep
it's
dish
the Jodo.
It's
It's
the
the dojo.
dojo.
Yeah, the
Dojo.
dojo.
They're going to be hot and ready all year.
There you go.
Yeah,
Have
so
it your way.
I'm
You're
not
the
100% sure how the cap recapture penalty works, but it's the same as Shea Weber's deal where he had Shea Weber in the last 3 years of his contract only makes $1 million per season as a base salary. Actually, doesn't have any signing bonuses either. But regardless of that, if he retires, there is some cap recapture penalties that go on to the teams that signed the deal. So I'm not sure for sure how it works, but I think that Detroit has to be wary of that. But at least good on Zetterberg, giving them a heads up saying, well, now you have to build for the next...
Okay, so basically
Centerman.
to clear it up, Henrik Zetterberg in 2 years is retiring. He's got 2 years left on his contract after that. Detroit's basically going to be penalized in cash against their own cap.
Potentially. That's what I think.
Can they sign Datsuk to like a 6-year deal and have him retire right after he signs it? That'd be top notch. Please.
No.
Dang it.
And the best thing about it is it's different than what Datsuk did, because Datsuk just left. So
He got
just
traded.
His contract got traded, but Datsuk just didn't report, right? So his contract is still on the books, but it's not counted as cap recapture.
Why would
So,
Zetterberg do that? I would do that.
I don't know. He might end up doing
now
that.
that he's announced
But
it,
maybe he
and
wants
he
to come
no
back.
shows, can Detroit still get in trouble?
No, if he no shows, it's
No,
different.
but he's already showed intent.
But it's
You could get
different.
charged with intent
No.
and stuff, right?
Not when it comes to that.
Why? It's a legal business. It's a business transaction. He's already stated that in 2 years I'm retiring, and then in 2 years he mysteriously doesn't retire and doesn't show to camp. You never see him again. And then he resurfaces 10 years later, and he's like he looks
There
like
wouldn't be
Paul
anything.
Bunyan.
He already retired. He's no longer their property anymore. He retired. He left his contract. He crumpled it up and threw it away. There's just potentially some...
I don't think that's how things go away, Greg. I'm going to start unraveling
Out of sight.
papers in Greg's house for all bills.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I guess.
Before we get to
He's going to shave his beard, and then he's gone.
Before we get to the predictions, because we're going to be on a short timeline today.
Yep.
NHL Network did the top 20 centers for next season.
Can you pull up the wings, too, actually?
I've got the wings here.
Good.
The right.
Let's do the centers.
They haven't
do
done
the
left
centers.
yet, right? They just did right.
Okay,
We're
so
going
they're-
left, not right.
top 20 centers. Number 1, of course, Connor McDavid. Number 2, Sidney Crosby. Number 3, Evgeny Malkin. 4, Austin Matthews. 5, Nicholas Backstrom. 6, John Tavares.
Well,
7,
easy.
Steven Stamkos.
Just
8, Tyler Sagan. 9, Ryan
Speedballing
Getzlaf.
through
10,
these ones.
Mark Scheifele. 11, Patrice Bergeron. 12, Jonathan Taves. 13, Anze Kopitar. 14, Jack Eichel. 15, Leon Draisaitl. Yeah, there's 14 guys ahead of Mr. 8.5. 16 is Ryan Johansson. 17 is Alexander Barkov. 18, Jeff Carter. 19, Evgeny Kuznetsov. 20, Sean Monahan. Anybody on this list? Anybody that should be on this list, or anybody that you put lower?
Well,
Who would you swap?
I already know who I'm putting lower, and Greg, you guys probably won't agree with me. I don't think Austin Matthews should be 4. He should be on the list. He should not be 4.
Oh, it's nice having a guy on that list, though, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. It is.
He
He should I don't know. It just.
John Tavares should be higher than him. Nicholas Backstrom should be higher.
I think
than
Mark Scheifele should be higher than him. Austin Matthews has played 1 year.
and had 40 goals, and took his team to the playoffs, and scored in the playoffs, and played more than 4 games in the playoffs. Holy shit, he's won a playoff game.
And
Done more. Boom. Better.
Well, that was Greg's argument.
I-
I'm gonna counteract Dan's argument.
Strongly disagree. Jonathan Cheechoo scored 56 goals 1 year. Did he do it again? No. Did he even come close again? No.
It's
All I'm
comparing
saying-
Austin Matthews to Jonathan Cheechoo.
All
is-
I'm saying is
There's a slap in the
Terrible
face to
argument.
Mark Scheifele.
it is. They're putting a lot of stock in 1 year, and it's fine because he's a good player. He's going to be fantastic. I get that, but to put him at 4 right now, I don't agree with that.
So you're thinking
I-
just after Connor McDavid's shortened rookie season to put in number 3 was too high up?
I don't know. I didn't look at these last year. I wouldn't have put him at 3 last year. To me, that's just
That's my counter argument is I think
That's
they know
fair.
what he's going to be. I'm not saying he's number 4. I'm saying he's 6.
I'm saying
5 or
right
6,
now.
but I think I would take Austin Matthews on my hockey team as it stands right now over Mark Scheifele. Not saying Mark Scheifele is a bad player by any means, but I would rather have Austin Matthews today than Mark Scheifele.
I guess
today.
my argument is Scheifele's done it 2 years in a row. He's played more than a year. He's shown more, but he's also had the chance to show more.
and plays with better players.
So I'm not saying that he's a better player necessarily. I'm just saying if you look at the list, to me, to put him at 4 after 1 year, I mean, he could very well be.
No, and I agree with you. I agree with you there.
I'm not saying Mark Scheifele should be 4. I'm just saying I don't know that Austin Matthews should be that high quite yet.
No, and I agree with
If
that.
he does what he did this year, next year, or he supersedes what he did next year, then sure.
I also don't know
100%.
why Evgeny Kuznetsov is so low on the list. I think Kuznetsov is better than the 19th best center in the league. He's better than Barkov, in my opinion. I think Ryan
What
Getzlaf
Did
is
you just say?
better than 9th best center
Dan,
in the
get the
league.
knife. Greg, you're gonna die live on a podcast.
See, I'd also argue that
No, Okay, hold on. I want to get in on this real
I would
quick.
argue that Jonathan Taves should be in the top 10.
Okay, this is what I'm going to say about the entire list and then about both sides of the argument. The entire list is based off of, in my mind, value to your team. Why? Giroux's not one Flyers on it. Sure, I agree. Giroux's sure he's a number 1 center, but yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of players I would probably take on this list, or there's a lot of players I'd take over Giroux like I would take instead of Giroux. But value to your team, I understand why Matthews is 4, considering the push that the Leafs had, the resurgence that they had. Now, I'll jump on Greg's argument first. Okay, I understand how, yes, all he did, they were really good. Yeah, he played with rookies all year. What I like about how high he is, or where I would take him over Scheifele, is he's defensively more responsible than Scheifele is, in my mind. But Scheifele puts up a decent amount of points, too. They
All I'm saying is if you're going to base it off of 1 year.
Yeah, and this is what I said.
If you're going to base it off of last year, Mark Scheifele should be ahead of him because Mark Scheifele had 82 points.
Okay, and then this is my argument to that as well.
But then you have to add in the defensive merit too, right?
So I would say I would still put Matthews over Scheifele, but I said this earlier today. If Matthews is 4, there's no way Scheifele should be farther away from him than, like, the farthest I put him away is 3 slots, whether up or down. They're within 3 of each other now.
But even, like, I would put Sagan, Stamkos, and probably Tavares ahead of Matthews.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. I would put maybe out of those 3, Tavares, and that's a stretch for me.
Sagan's been top 5 scoring the last, 4 years.
Yeah, but, okay, so are you valuing scoring, though? Because, like, all the guys you
merit,
need...
Yeah, you can argue that.
That's why he's ranked. That's why he's ranked so high. Because if it's offense, I don't even put Taves on this list.
Well,
I put Giroux over Taves.
Yeah, it's not
value
offensive list. It's value and all-around ability.
I understand that. I'm just saying, to put him there after 1 year, it's a little high for him.
But he did so much. That's why they put him that high.
I'm not arguing with you.
This is never going to end in terms of, like, as long as Matthews is in the league, and Winnipeg's obviously a team and still has a team, there's always going to be direct links to Winnipeg. And, yeah, you could could flip a coin. Anyone will be jacked to have either
There's a ton
Scheifele
of
or
rookies
Matthews.
that win the Calder and then they're never as good. And I'm not saying he's
Don't
going to be...
you Steve
Why
Mason.
do you even put those words?
Don't you Steve Mason me. Don't do that evil.
I'm not saying that's going to happen, but just that's my reasoning. I'm not putting that many eggs in a basket of a guy.
Just because...
For that long.
No, it's because he's a Leaf and he won a trophy. He's going to suck now because he won something. Because he's done something more than any Jet ever has.
It's not the Leafs. It's not the Leafs. He's saying the value of... Okay, let's go back. Like, Dan's argument is it's not the Leafs. He's saying, like, it's happened plenty... Look, I'm going to use Steve Mason. He blew the roof off in Columbus.
You're right. 100%. It happens.
Yes.
How about this?
Using that as your cornerstone argument, saying it happens, I'll tell you from... Okay, so Alex Ovechkin won the Calder Trophy the year that he was rookie, the year that he was a rookie.
Beating out Crosby.
But regardless, would you say just based off 1 year? No, he has the potential to fizzle out like everyone else. No, because everyone knew the talent level he had and the consistency in his game. I'm not saying, and I would be shocked if Austin Matthews goes out and scores 40 goals again in his career. He's probably not going to do that. He's a 60-point-a-year guy. So to base everything off 60 points, to me, and saying that, he's going to have a down year at 60 points, I don't believe that. I believe he's a guy that's going to score 60 points a year and dominate in every facet of the game. And that's the difference for me between him and some of the guys on this list. I would still love to have Tavares on my hockey team. I would still love to have Steven Stamkos on my hockey team. But I'm very happy to have Austin Matthews.
Dan?
No, I'm not criticizing the player. I'm just saying it's too high.
Yeah.
It's too high for 1 year.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I agree with that. I can agree with that.
Too high for 1 year.
Could we name I think they announced either left or right wingers.
No, they just did wings in general.
Okay, top 20 wingers in general. 1 to 20, go ahead.
Number 1 was Patrick Kane.
No surprise.
Number 2 is Nikita Kucherov.
Cooch, he's pretty good.
Brad Marchand was 3. Tarasenko 4. Jamie Benn 5. Alex Ovechkin 6. Joe Pavelski 7. Patrick Laine 8.
Wait, hold on. Joe Pavelski's a wing? I thought he takes face-offs.
I think he does a little bit of both.
Okay, Laine was 1.
Laine was 8.
Okay.
Panarin 9. Goudreau 10. Wheeler 11. Phil Kessel 12. Pacioretty 13. Forsberg 14, Pasternak 15, Cam Atkinson 16, Jeff Skinner 17, Wayne Simmons 18.
Woo!
TJ
We made it!
TJ Oshie 19 and Taylor Hall 20. So I'm assuming they just combine the left and right.
Yeah.
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 Who was 16?
Cam Atkinson. He had 30
Yeah.
some odd goals last
Yeah.
year.
I'm not
that's
debating that.
As a
Good.
Jets fan, I'm
Achievable
surprised that Laine is as high as I didn't think he'd be that high.
But well, he's on the list. When
Like,
they
if
said
you-
top 20, I didn't even look. I'm like,
Well,
you can't look past
if
him.
you were doing right wingers, then I could see him being 8 or maybe a
I
little
thought
higher.
Lang is a lefty.
No, he's a right.
No.
plays
Mine is definitely right-handed.
He's a
Yeah,
he's-
but you don't have to over.
No, he definitely plays right side too.
So the Jets' top two right wingers are in the top 20 in the league.
Yep.
Who was right after Wheeler?
Kessel.
Yeah, hard to argue. Kessel's better.
And yeah,
than
he
Wheeler.
does-
In terms of, I mean,
Full
Wheeler,
overall value. I
Over-
would take. Kessel doesn't kill penalties. Blake really does.
And Laine does play right because Ehlers plays left.
Yeah.
I'm totally.
I'm
okay
not
with
even
that list.
upset with any of those.
Is there a leaf on there?
No. Nor should there be.
Hey, don't worry about next year. No Flyers. Nylander's in there. You don't worry about that. Apparently, Ron Hextall called someone at the NHL offices and just farted in the phone and
Why?
hung up. Why? I don't know. They're just. I mean, Travis Konechny, I would argue, is a top
Oh yeah.
10 winner.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And see, this is where I just say even like to me like
No, this I'm completely okay with that.
I'm okay
list.
with it, but like honestly,
The ordering is really weird.
I would put Wheeler.
Marchand third best.
I would put Wheeler ahead of Laine. Right now.
Well, there you go.
I would.
And so like
And again, that's the simple fact that Blake Wheeler for the last 6 years the Jets have been here, 70-point guy. Patrick Laine scored 36 goals, had 64 points. Yes, great, but he did it once. So to put him 8th overall, to me, again, that's too high.
yeah. Well, it is like
And that's just my
the
argument.
order
I
of-
just feel like any rookie to put them that high, it's just. I mean, it's saying that there's a lot of there's confidence that those players are going to be great, which they will probably be. But
these lists when they come
me,
out,
that's-
when they're
it's-
ordered. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know. Just to me, that's a little high. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, you
Well,
want to see
yeah,
more.
exactly.
You want to see.
Yeah.
But when I see these
If-
lists and I see
yeah.
like, okay, I love Brad Marchand. You guys already know this. But putting him third, that means anyone below him, it's like one-on-one. You're like, or like, it's like, oh, Marchand and or blank. You're taking him every time. Every time.
See,
Come on.
Like I
Come
would
on.
like honestly,
Marchand, Tarasenko. Who do you take?
Me?
Yeah.
See, I got disdain against Tarasenko, so I'm going Marchand.
do you know who I
fine.
take?
Atkinson. Marchand. Who do you
Oh,
take?
Marchand. Okay, I see where you're going.
Do you know who I take above all? Jamie Benn.
Yeah.
See,
So
where's
what?
Jamie
See, to me,
Benn?
he's
eight.
5.
Yeah,
Okay.
see, okay.
To me,
yeah.
he should be 2.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's overall does
should
everything.
be too.
And
He
Patrick
does. And
Kane
he
just
can also be
outscores
center.
everyone, so it doesn't matter.
And I'm sorry, but Alex Ovechkin should be higher than 6. I know he didn't have the.
Who's ahead of him again?
Brad Marchand, Vladimir Tarasenko, Jamie Benn, Kucherov, and Patrick Kane. I put Ovi
But
top.
see, he's aging.
I don't even see Kucherov
I
as
guess.
like Kucherov's a great player, but I don't know if he's number 2
yeah,
best
to me,
winger in the
that's-
league.
guys.
Over a guy like Rick Nash. Are you kidding me?
I wrote my preseason predictions like in June after
Yeah.
the awards. You guys are not going to like that if that's your reaction towards Kucherov.
Well,
because I'm riding high.
If we
guys.
want some outside perspective, Jeremy Roenick did his top 10 centers.
Of course he
after
did.
the
Go
list.
ahead.
Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Evgeny Malkin, John Tavares, Jonathan Taves, Mark Scheifele, Steven Stamkos, Nick Backstrom, Anze Kopitar, Patrice Bergeron. That was his top 10.
Okay.
So
what
his top 10 left wingers were Jamie Benn, Ovechkin, Goudreau, Marchand,
Yeah, Goudreau wasn't on that list. That was so surprising.
Panarin, Hall, Ehlers, Forsberg, Saad, Drouin. That was his top
Well,
10
screw
left
him.
wingers.
How dare he?
So
No Simmons. On just the lefts? Come on.
Johnny Goudreau was 10 on the top 20 winger.
Oh, was he 10?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Oh.
didn't hear his name. Okay.
Yeah.
We gotta move on.
Yeah, we go. Let's do it.
Okay, let's start with the.
I like how we're arguing. Justin,
I feel
sometimes we
like-
argue about lists.
I feel
Go
like
ahead.
these top player lists, like everyone's gonna have different.
Yeah, no.
It is so.
this
It's an opinion piece.
This is
Everyone's-
it's the classic like barroom discussion. Like you sit down at the bar, you have a beer, or in Cam's case, a water. He's just a violent man if he has a beer. So
Yeah,
we
I
don't let
have
him have
problems.
it.
Yeah.
And you just argue about it, and this is what the point of this podcast has always been: to argue about why our points are better than everyone else's.
Yeah.
And
Well,
let's
Jeremy,
get into
go.
why
Let me
the
have
New
it.
York Rangers are going to be a good team this year.
They will not be a good
I was
team.
just going to say, Cam's not going to agree with you on that.
They will not be a good team.
No. I
Okay.
might bite on you.
Tell me their subtractions, additions. Let me have it.
Well, only if there was a website.
Dude, I know. I've talked to a few people about this. We should...
It's an
Let's
idea.
stop talking about it and make it.
Okay, they
no
lost Derek Stepan.
That's a huge loss.
more. Antiranta.
They lost Antiranta. They lost Jesper Fast for the
Expansion.
expansion.
So they have
Oscar Lindbergh.
Oscar Lindbergh.
They did add David Desharnais.
And they added Kevin Shattenkirk.
Kevin Shattenkirk. They signed.
And they lost Dan Girardi as
They
well.
re-signed Brendan Smith. He was a guy they got towards the end of the year.
The number one player they got this offseason, Andre Pavlik. Former number one goalie.
I am
They also
totally
got
okay with that contract.
Anthony D'Angelo on from
So,
Arizona.
Well, he got cut and then they signed him. So, yeah.
No, he was
let's-
part of the.
we might as
Stepan
well
trade.
Oh,
we might
right.
as well talk about it.
Go.
What do you think about this team?
Me?
Yeah, you.
They had trouble scoring last year, and they did not. They made the only addition they made towards scoring
David
is
Darren?
Kevin Shattenkirk.
Oh, okay.
David Darren, that's a third line center.
I know.
He wins faceoffs. He'll get you the puck. But he's got to be his wingers to do the rest. And they had trouble scoring last year. Lundqvist is getting older.
Yeah, but-
that's fine. I'm totally okay with the Pavlik deal because he's a backup. He's not getting paid more than 2.
He's getting 1.3 for 1 year.
Fantastic deal for a backup goalie. I'm totally okay with that. And he knows going in, hey, you're a backup. You're in New York. You're anonymous. People in Winnipeg didn't even know what you look like, so that's fine. Probably not. That's a lie. But honestly, they didn't fix what they need, scoring. They got rid of it. Like, they didn't do anything.
They didn't
Do
fix
they
what they
have-
need, but they also didn't get worse.
They don't have
They were
anything coming.
They
through
were
the
good
pipeline.
enough to get into the second round last year.
Were they good enough, or did they just beat a bad team? They beat a bad team,
Who was a bad team they beat?
Montreal.
Here's
That's
my
a great point. Go ahead.
my argument. My argument might not be necessarily that they're a great team, but in the division that they're in, they're probably good enough to make the playoffs.
They're in a 6-way tie in my mind.
They might be,
Maybe a 7-way
it's
tie
hard.
to make
Like
playoffs.
this division to me, not necessarily it's tough in the sense that there's a lot of good teams, but there's a lot of teams that are like pretty even. You know
8
what I
teams in this division could make the playoffs.
Like honestly,
that's how even it is.
Any team realistically could make the playoffs.
Because there's 3 teams that are going to dominate, and we'll get to those 3 teams. And then there's going to be everyone else that's just a crapshoot.
What was their point total
'Cause-
last year? Rangers.
Rangers, I think 102 or
Yeah,
99,
pull up the
something like
standings.
that.
I'd like to see that.
But regardless of that, like, it's going to be a total crapshoot, this division, along with the Rangers. I have no clue. Like, who knows? Maybe Rick
We
Nash.
could roll a dice,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we might be right. We might be wrong.
By the way, I will say this. I have a feeling.
Go to NHL
they had
standings.
they had 102 last
Yeah,
year.
I have a feeling that Rick Nash, if New York is not in a place to make the playoffs by trade deadline, Rick Nash is going to get dealt. And no, I'm not saying to who. I don't know to who.
Okay. Okay.
And part of his contract is going to be kept by New York, as you know, it's 7.8 mil. Not a lot of playoff teams have that room. But whoever they get in return, if this is to happen, needs to improve their team somehow. We're not talking like Philip Forsberg level, but like needs to be somebody, because Rick Nash has been such a thorn in their side for so long because of that contract and him not performing to the right level. But I also firmly believe he's a UFA at the end of this year. He's probably going to go back to Columbus.
Well, but he's had some injury problems too.
Yeah, I know. But
now, maybe he'll go to Columbus, or maybe he'll stay in the conference, different division. Now, there's a few players you're quite familiar with, Greg, that could help.
JVR?
That could help. Ooh,
Oh.
I wasn't going to say JVR,
Okay.
but JVR, fine. JVR because there will be more pieces involved.
For what?
Kapanen!
No.
For
Why
Rick
does
Nash.
Toronto want Rick Nash when they have Patrick
Because
Marleau?
you need Rick Nash when
No,
you're on
you
a Stanley
don't.
Cup run. You
No,
need a
you
guy to
don't.
shut people down.
Terrible. That's terrible.
You guys, someone's got to do it, and I'll be the Dark Knight of
They
this
have-
podcast.
they
I'm
have-
the hero this
they have Leo
podcast doesn't
Komarov.
deserve, and they don't need it.
I would keep JVR.
Yeah.
He's cheaper and he probably puts up more points.
You guys are fun.
Well, after
suckers.
this year, he's not going to be cheaper.
Wow.
Because Rick Nash's contract's going to be... He's going to get an Eric Stahl 3-for-3 contract. in my
Like
opinion.
Nash is not a bad player. He's just kind of entering the.
He's also transformed his game into something else. He's more defensive.
He's sort of transferring into the later stages, right? So
And Mike Babcock also has coached him, so he might like him.
You know that
He
3
might
for 3
like it.
deal you just said? Either
Yeah.
Toronto or You know who loves signing old guys? They're even in the
Montreal?
rumor mill to sign Yammer Yager, apparently.
Oh, the Flames.
Philadelphia.
Oh.
No. It's happening.
There you go.
Travis Konechny's getting traded, guys. Confirmed.
Okay,
Throwing
regardless,
Provorov.
point total for this year for the Rangers.
88. No playoffs.
98 playoffs.
92.
That's a big difference.
92 and potentially playoffs. I have to
Well,
see how the rest
that's the
goes.
thing. Like, I'm in my head. This
That's why
division,
this is fun. That's why we're doing this. It's fine.
Like, I can be told. I'm not confident, and there's one team I'm confident about, and you might be surprised, but I'm confident that they're going to make playoffs this year.
Okay.
It's Jurassic Park. Okay,
Oh, well.
New York. I actually know which team it's going to be,
Okay.
and it's the same team I have on my
Okay.
list. New York Islanders.
What's the addition subtractions? Guys, I'm not the
Okay.
one with the computers here.
They added,
They lost
Jordan
Hamonic.
Eberle. They got in the trade.
In the Ryan Strome trade, so they
So,
also lost Ryan.
so that's a nothing deal. That's a nothing
they lost Travis Hamonic.
But they also signed another defenseman.
They
didn't
signed.
deal. Oh, they lost JF Berube. That's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Who are their goaltenders? Is it still Grice and Halak?
Halak and Grice, which I'm not totally sold on.
No, neither am I.
That seems to be their only major. They didn't really add anybody except for Eberle, and they lost Strome. So they have largely. They did lose Grabowski in the expansion draft, but did he even play for them last year?
No, he was.
Who did they
hurt.
add then? Sorry?
No one.
They signed someone.
They swapped Eberle for Strome.
That was basically all they did all
They
off.
didn't sign anybody.
They did a really good job of saying, "Hey, John Tavares, we got you. Stay here."
Did they have Dennis Seidenberg last year? Yeah,
Yeah,
had
they
him
did.
last year.
Yeah, that happened in right after the World Cup.
See, I'm not totally sold on their D right now.
I'm not sold on their team.
Yeah, I was really high on their team like 2 years ago, and it's my
When your fourth line costs as
My
much, how much is
anticipation is
Casey
mild.
Zizekas? How much is Casey Zizekas making?
$3.5
million?
3.35.
Okay, let's just look. at
Don't
something
worry,
here.
Cal Clutterbuck makes 3.5
Okay, what?
Oh.
for 5 more years.
Oh.
Okay, quick. I just want to see something here. Casey Zizekas last season, how many points did he have? Oh, you know what? He had 30 points. That's penalty minutes. He had 25.
That's not bad.
Still had more than Matt Martin, so I can't get that upset at that deal. Anybody who put us more points, clearly the line to make $2.5 million means you have to put up more than 11 points or whatever Matt Martin.
Well,
20. It's the 15-point mark. You make 2
Mr.
mil.
Clutterbuck had 20 points last year, and he's getting 3.5.
Yeah, there we go. This has been. It was a problem with Boston and why they had to change. It's a problem with LA and why they had to change, and it's a problem with the Islanders now.
Don't
you
worry.
overvalue your depth guys when you can switch them out every year.
Andrew Ladd had 31 points, and he's making 5.5.
No.
What I expect
We don't
from
need to talk about
the
that.
Islanders is the youth movement slowly going to happen. I think it's almost a little too late with, I think Tavares, he's going to do the Stamkos thing and see what he can get from other people.
Probably leave.
Youth movement being Ryan Pulak, Anthony Beauvillier is going to take a step forward. Josh Hosang should take a step
He'll
forward.
be there next year.
And then Matt Barzal is going to be there too. There's no way those four. If these 4 guys aren't on the team, then it's coaching and management issue. I can't even talk.
Management issues.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garceau still the guy there?
Yep.
That's a problem.
I'm going to just say my points. Islanders 86.
I have them at 84.
I have 85. We're
right.
all pretty close. Yeah, I honestly, I had a lot of hype for this team 2 years ago, and I feel like it's all gone. And I don't even know if they can get it back
Yeah,
with
no,
what
neither
they
do I.
have right now.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree.
No good.
New Jersey Devils. Basically, they brought in Marcus Johansson,
Brian
Boyle, Nico Hischier. Other than that, that's about all they have.
Have you guys ever been to Applebee's?
Yes, I have.
Have you gotten a Sizzler?
No.
It's like a pan that it's a you make your own fajita.
Okay.
Well, I ordered one once in Minneapolis. Actually, it was in Shakopee, just outside. And I ordered the Sizzler, and it was 11 o'clock at night. And I heard the sizzle, and I'm like, ooh, this is going to be good. It's going to be so good. And I got it, and somehow it was cold and disappointing. New Jersey Devils are all sizzle. That's it. 78 points. That's all I have to say about that.
I think they're still a couple years away from really being a competitive
They're
team.
3 years away from being 3 years away.
Yeah, they're a year away from being 3 years away.
So they're 4 years away.
I'm just looking up theirs. They had 70 points last year.
Oh, damn, I'm being too nice. That's okay. 78.
I give them 74. I think they might go up a little bit, but I don't think they're going to be very good.
I don't mind what they're doing with their forwards.
I think they're on the right track.
I think Johansson is a good addition. I think part of the problem is Ryan Clough was supposed to be a big addition for them. He's been hurt since he got there, basically. Travis Zajac hasn't really played much hockey recently either. He's also on the IR. Taylor Hall, I think, is going to come into his own. I think if they can really get him and Heischer on the same level, that could start some sort of dynamic there. I don't mind their forward group as it stands right now. I also like Pavel Zacha, but I don't mind their forward group as it stands. Their D are Edmonton's D from 4 years ago. Like, they are that bad.
Name their D.
Andy Green, Ben Lovejoy, John Moore, Dalton Prout, Michael Kapla, and Damon Severson, who's a RFA right now.
Didn't they
not the high level.
Didn't they have a prospect who opted to not hit free agency but go back to college?
Maybe.
No, maybe that's another team.
I'm going to throw a stat at you too. They scored 183 goals last year. They allowed 244.
They also have
Fine by me. You know what? Of those 183 goals, I bet 30 of them were scored on the Flyers.
They were minus 61 in their goal differential last year.
I have them at 82 points.
Holy
Going
crap.
Yeah, I'm going high on them. Not really that high, but
With that decor?
Yeah.
If that,
Well, all within
sometimes
like 8
if
points.
that decor was a little bit better, yeah, maybe.
Okay, Washington. The big thing with New Jersey is they get to the shootout and they don't win unless it's against Flyers.
Yeah, I've noticed.
I think they're like 0-22 except against the Flyers where they have 2 wins.
They're undefeated. They won't lose to the Flyers. They're like, oh, well, we're shooting against a Flyer goalie, which means shoot at the net.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Okay, Washington.
So they lost Johansson, they lost
Johansson.
Carlson, they lost Nate Schmidt.
And Kevin Shattenkirk, if you want to count
And
that.
Kevin Shattenkirk.
They did not lose Carlson.
They didn't lose Carlson?
They still
Carl Alsner.
Oh,
is what I
Carl
meant.
Alsner.
My bad.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I put the words together.
Yes.
Carl
Yeah, but you have
Alsner.
to keep in mind Shattenkirk was a late addition, right?
Yep.
They were already a good team
Yeah,
without
but
him.
they still lost him, I guess. I'll count him.
Who did they lose on forward? They lost something on
Philip Forsberg, but that was a few
No,
years ago.
like this year.
Johansson.
Yeah,
Marcus.
that's Johansson.
Johansson, that's right.
So they kept TJ Oshie for all the money.
They got Devontae Smith-Pelly. Did not even know they signed him.
Yeah, they did. Depth guy. Like, they're gonna still do well in the regular season. They're still gonna do well. They still have a great top 6. They still have talent on the defensive end, and they still have Braden Holtby, who's the second best goalie in the world, arguably. They're still gonna get 108 points this year.
That's yours?
Yeah, that's yours. See, I think they're going to be good. They're not going to be the President's Trophy team that they've been for the last 2 years.
We're going to regress to progress.
They're going to regress a little bit, but they're still going to be competitive. I don't know if they're going to be a Stanley Cup favorite, but they probably will be a contender. I got them at 102. I think they're going to finish third in the division.
Dan, right here, 102. Yeah. Nice. Same.
Okay. Any comments, Cam?
Washington, they get it done in the regular season. Get it done in the playoffs. They're not doing it this year. That's it. I was going to say more, but I'm going to stay.
Okay, now time to talk about Cam's favorite team.
Carolina.
Hey.
I knew it.
Pittsburgh, because,
Yeah.
new fan, Cameron.
It was Phil Kessel. My love for Phil Kessel overpowers.
You get 1 year. You get 1 year. You don't get 2. You get 1.
Sure I
You
get
get
to.
1.
As
You
long
get
as
1.
Kessel's there, I get every year.
You disgust me for
Why?
how much you hate the Penguins during the regular season.
It's Phil Kessel! They look like they're having so much fun. Look at Jake Gensel and don't smile. Look at Jake. Pull up a picture of Jake Gensel and try not to smile challenge. Because you can't.
Oh,
It's
I'm gonna do
impossible.
it.
Oh, yeah? You're mean mugging? Set it as your screensaver then. Because you're going to love your life when you look at Jake Gensel every day. He's a beautiful man. Look at him.
He looks like his nose is
Look,
off
you're already
center.
smiling.
No, it's
You're already smiling.
It's
Get out of
because
here.
no, it's because
You're
making me laugh.
smiling. Get out of
My
here.
2 cents. They
Go, Dan. Yeah, we need some analysis here.
They have largely the same team that they've won a Stanley Cup with for the last 2 years. Still have the best player in the league on their team. Yes, Sidney Crosby.
I was going to say Jake Gensel. I was going to slide in there.
Their D, I mean, they're going to get Crystal Tang back, so their D is going to be better. And if they could win a Stanley Cup with the D core they had,
Without a Norris-nominated D, they won the Stanley Cup.
this team still, I don't know that they're going to three-peat, but they're, to me, They're one of the best teams in the league still. They're going to win the division. They might win the President's Trophy. I don't know. I've got them at 112 points.
Yeah. I like Pittsburgh. I like the depth on their team.
I also like Antti Niemi as their backup.
They also
not a bad move.
seem to get everything out of every player, which is huge. And that's been pretty much the reason why they've won the last 2 years.
I
don't think anybody thinks that Jake Gensel or Connor Sheary are world-breaking talent players, but they get the most out of their players. Brian Rust, another one. Or Byron Rust, however you pronounce his first name.
Brian, I think.
You get the most out of your players. And that's what Mike Sullivan's been able to do since he's gotten that coaching job. My question mark is going to be in net, just to see how good Matt Murray can be with having an entire season of him being the guy.
Without having the safety net of Marc-Andre Fleury behind you.
Yeah. And the other question is can they stay healthy? Because, and it's a question for every team, but for them more than any other team, they lose. I think that if Chris Letang goes down, they proved last year they can win without him. I'm thinking one of their depth D, or just something that turns that. If they go through a bad stretch, I feel like that could hurt the team a lot. I don't know if they've got they have some of the. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but at the end of the day, I think they're still going to dominate the division. They're going to probably make it at least to the second or third round of the playoffs, maybe back to the Stanley Cup final again, but they're the team to beat right now. It's as simple as that. As much as I may not like them for a multitude of reasons because they're winning, is the main one. I think it's hard to deny that they're the best team right now in the league. I would argue it's going to be tough to dethrone them because they've been able to keep such a good core together and they're getting the most out of their depth players. They're not having the Chicago issue of having guys like Brandon Saad or Artemi Panarin who a year after they win all of a sudden have to get these huge extensions worth $5-6 million. They're getting guys like Jake Gensel that they can re-sign for $2.5 million.
For now, but I mean, they also went through a 7-year period where they weren't even close to the final.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they were close, but
they didn't win.
Where Chicago kind of did it all at once. Pittsburgh kind of did it, had a break. Now
115 points is
I
what
thought
I
you said
have.
108. Oh, that was Washington.
You know what? I feel like my point total for Washington's a little low. I'm gonna go 100.
No, you're staying.
No,
at
you
102.
locked it.
No, 106.
He can change it.
Okay.
Pittsburgh,
Still third.
You guys covered absolutely everything, I would say. 109 points.
Okay.
Next team. We have 3 more. Let's roll it. Philadelphia. Okay. Well, they fixed their goaltending problem big time because Steve Mason is a hot dumpster fire of junk.
I would argue that he was
hot dumpster fire of junk.
He was one of the only
Hot
reasons you
dumpster fire
guys
junk.
were even close last year.
Hot dumpster fire junk. Their D's only getting better with the young guys. The youth movement's going to carry them a long way. With the addition of Nolan Patrick, they will be going to the playoffs. 96 points.
See,
because I'll just keep rambling on about everything.
I'm not
Philadelphia 96.
I'm not trying to be critical because you like them. I don't think their D is that good right now. I don't.
My question is this the year that we see a little bit more youth injected into their D core? Because they do have a lot of D.
100%.
They have a lot of youth D.
I fully believe that Robert Haig has a spot on the team. Sanheim, I think he's got another year in the A. I think, depending on how he does, Philip Myers, I think, is going to be like pushing. It's either Philip Myers or Sam Morin for that extra spot. And I think they're totally okay burying McDonald still on there, and McDonald and Schultz. I think Schultz, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Is Schultz up? Schultz is up. Okay. Yeah. They're totally fine benching. Like, they're going to do a Stewart thing to McDonald. Like, they're just going to let him go.
They're going to either go one of two ways, in my opinion. It's going to go... They're either going to finally capture some of the magic they had a couple years ago offensively when Voracek scored whatever it was that year.
70 something?
Yeah. When they captured that talent, their question to me is how much of an improvement is Brian Elliott? If you look at the stats, it's not much. But I do believe that Brian Elliott is an improvement on Steve Mason and
the new Vithian. I
think Nolan Patrick just helps that team so much.
Well, they wouldn't have traded Braden Chen. I've said it every time, every podcast.
He's not a Matthews, a Line
He
They don't need him to be. They don't need him.
They brought in Couturier the first year, and he didn't light the world on
He's
fire.
not
He
good
played
enough
his
to
role.
propel them to the playoffs by himself.
Yeah, but they have players that can already do that, like Simmons.
But your top three
Voracek,
centers
Giroux,
now.
I don't think their D is strong right now. It's got a lot of youth in it, and I think it needs a couple of years. I don't think it's strong right now. I think their forwards could be strong. Their goaltending probably won't be terrible.
It's gonna be. It can't be worse than last year. Can't be worse.
Well, actually,
No
if you look at
way.
last year's stats, I think Brian Elliott actually was worse than Steve Mason.
93 points is what I'm going to give him.
That's fine. That's playoffs.
I'm giving them 86, no playoffs.
Dan's a hater.
Dan is.
What did you say for points?
96.
Okay.
No, I just don't think
Columbus.
I just don't think they're quite there.
Columbus.
Columbus. What did they add or subtract? Oh, Panarin.
They brought in
Versailles?
Panarin.
They got better.
Yeah.
They got better.
They're better. They also signed, what's his face? Older
Signed
player.
Jordan Schrader, good old Moose, ex-Moose boy.
Oh, Mighty Mouse.
What? They signed Mighty Mouse in Columbus? Oh, that's a jersey right there.
I think they're still a very well-coached team, and they have one of the best goalies in the league.
Okay,
Sergei
points.
What did I have them? I think they're going to go 108, finish second.
1 second. I know they added someone else. I'm just trying to think who it is.
I have their roster here.
No, I have it. I have it too. No, maybe I was wrong. Maybe they didn't.
No.
I thought they signed somebody out in the offseason.
They have a great goaltender, and I think they're well coached. And
I think they have great D too.
I think they work well as a unit. Their D is pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think 100,
that's right. They bought out Scott Hartnell. They didn't.
108 points, second in the division. That's my pick.
Yeah, I love their team. I love the fighting instinct this team has. Like they're
Fun
not
to
going
watch.
to do it. They're not going to do
it.
it pretty. They're going to get.
And you have to think.
I think they're going to get 98 points.
They had 108 last year.
I know.
That's a big drop.
You can regress and still be good.
So,
but 98 points is
they got
barely making the playoffs.
But 34 of those points came during that win streak.
We set the playoff line at 90.
Yeah,
I think that's I
So
guess.
either way, you still have the Flyers missing playoffs.
Did you have the Rangers in playoffs?
Kind of, but not really. Like I have Philadelphia ahead of them. I have Columbus ahead of them. I have Pittsburgh ahead of them, and I have Washington ahead of them right now.
Okay, well, I want to talk about the last team.
Okay, wait, hold on.
We'll get there. I want to hear Cam.
Columbus, love them.
Oh yeah, you got to talk about it.
I watched as many Columbus games as I did Flyer games as I did Leafs games. I split the season, and I sprinkled in Jets when I went to the games.
Okay.
Columbus 105, second in division.
Okay.
For me.
And let's get to the team that's going to make
Carolina
the biggest splash, which is Carolina.
I'm just gonna come out and say it. I really like their team. They have a great. They already had a great young core. I like that they brought in Justin Williams as a veteran guy. I think he's going to be their captain because they don't have a captain right now.
And
You
he's
wouldn't
been
give it
there
to
before.
Jeffrey Skinman?
No, I would give it to Justin Williams. He's been there before. I like that they brought in Kruger, Van Riemsdyk, and Scott Darling, all from Chicago, all know what it takes to win. They've all won multiple Stanley Cups. Scott Darling is a fantastic backup goalie, and if he becomes their starter, I think it's his time to shine. Their D is young, but I think their D is really good.
They get some credit. I see where it is.
I'm just more I'm more optimistic with this team. I think they're going to finish with 95 points and make playoffs.
I also could see them going out at trade deadline and going to get a veteran defenseman because they have the money to spend. Like, in all honesty, I know that Hannafin's up at the end of the year, but they could make a play to go get another defenseman, and it won't hurt them in the slightest bit because they have 5 of their 6 defensemen are on entry-level deals this year. This is the year to make a jump for them because now they have guys that have played in the NHL long enough that are going to make good decisions. And it's Ron Francis that's their GM, right?
Correct.
Okay, Ron Francis has created some breathing room within his team of having guys signed or good deals that he has the potential to go out and bring in somebody by trading something else. He also has guys complement depth players like the Justin Williamses and the Lee Stepniaks who are going to propel this team somewhere. I'm going to go out on a limb, 100 points.
Wow.
Their biggest question mark is goaltending, but I do believe that they'll be fine in that category. I think they're going to make a huge jump this year.
I think them making the playoffs is a huge jump.
What did you say for points?
95. I think they're going to get the last wild card. And I said this last week. I think there's going to be 5 teams from the Metro and 3 from the Atlantic.
Cam?
I agree with everything you said. I love watching this team. The progression is fantastic. I really like the addition of Justin Williams, and Captain Jacob Slavin from Denver will lead them to victory.
There you go.
Yes.
I have them at 93 points. I also have them taking the final wild card. 5 teams from the Metro going to
Okay.
playoffs.
Yeah.
So, we are now done. All 31 teams, all 4 divisions are completed. So next week, what we're going to do is we're going to go over our playoffs. So what we have for playoffs.
Jeez, we're going far.
No, we're not going far.
We're doing the
I
paper-
just want to make sure that
the
you
on-paper
guys
test.
are happy with the playoffs and who you could see emerging out
You
of those
guys made me
playoffs.
do a blood oath. I
Yep.
thought that we finalized it when we... I'm just
No,
kidding.
just want to make sure.
Yeah, we'll go over our picks and just figure out where we're at and if we're okay with that. And I mean,
And overall, I
and
want
who
to see
Dallas
if
is going to
anything-
play in the Stanley Cup final.
Well, I think it's going to be Carolina.
I don't think it's going to be
No,
Carolina.
I'm just kidding. Could be
But
Toronto.
I will tell. You know what we should do next week too? Then
Our predictions,
yeah,
season predictions.
season predictions for
In-
like trophies.
In August, though.
You
That's
guys
in September.
started. You guys
That's-
started the predictions
that's
a week
begin-
early.
No,
you started it a
that's-
week early.
That is the week before the season starts. We do Stanley Cup prediction.
You know what's gonna
conference
happen?
final prediction and
What are we
trophy
going to do for
prediction.
the
A
2
bunch
weeks
of these
between
teams-
training
Lots
camp?
to talk
A
about.
bunch of these teams are going to sign like big last minute splashes and trades, and then our whole predictions are going to be.
That's fine. That's the point of it.
That's the point.
No, now we get to argue over predictions for the next 6 weeks.
That's true. Oh, Greg, before we do go, I just want to read one headline I saw I thought you would enjoy.
Yeah.
So the headline is Inside Look at Montreal Canadiens. Subtext, Drouin Alsner hope to aid offense, offset loss of Radulov Markov. Montreal Canadiens. What? Come on.
That was all they lost? That's all they
No,
lost.
I know. That's
What? You mean you only lost 2 players to get those 2 players? You only lost 2? What about the guy that was traded for for Drouin? What about him? What about Sergachev? Oh, what about Nathan Beaulieu that you just lost for nothing? Oh, how about Alexei Emlin? Should I go on? I can continue, but I won't. That has been episode 159 of Last Man In Podcast. If you want to get in contact with the show, please contact us on Twitter at LastManInPC or give us an email at lastmaninpc@gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube, Last Man In Podcast in the search bar. Hit that subscribe button. We always appreciate that. We are now at 80 subscribers on YouTube. And,
Thanks, Mom.
yeah, I know.
She's made
I
all
know.
those accounts for us.
Exactly. It's so nice of her.
All of moms.
All of the moms.
All of our moms.
All of the moms. And if you want to take the podcast on the go, check us out on Podomatic, Last Man In Podcast, or any other podcast app that you may choose.